Hey guys, this is Chris with the Legacy. We have here a Town Hall 8 attack against a basically maxed out Town Hall 8 other than for a few walls. Now to start things off, I want to go ahead and take a look at the base and try to figure out where the traps are. Now this is going to end up being a bit of a longer analysis, so if you just want to see the attack, go ahead and skip ahead. But to start it off, let's figure out where the double bomb is going to be because there's a lot of open space here. Just a quick glance, I think the most obvious thing that's going on here is that there's a Tesla here. So let's just go ahead and assume that. Now, there's going to be 3 potential double bomb spaces in the space. The first one we have here is on the right, like so. Whether there is or isn't a double bomb there, it doesn't really matter. For example, if I were to path in on the right and start working around the base like so, my hogs would very, very likely avoid that trap altogether. And if I wanted to be even safer about it, I could drop one hog in on the right before my hogs reach that archer tower, and they would detonate that trap, and it would be out of the game. So for either reason, one being that my hogs will just skip it, and 2 being that I could just set it off too easily, I don't think that there are any traps there. And because this does look like it's a better base, the player seems to be thinking about things a bit more. I don't think he's going to give me his double bombs that easily. So right off the bat, 1 out of 3 spots, let's just go ahead and throw out as being a threat. The next spot we can go ahead and take a look at is this lower one above the cannon here. For similar reasons, I don't think this is going to house a double bomb. And if it does house a double bomb, I also am not going to care too much. The reason for that is, say there is a double bomb like that, and to make this even harder for us, suppose there's a Tesla there, and maybe even a Tesla here. Now, with the pathing, again, on the right, I would expect to kind of veer around a bit, and I would most likely set these off sequentially, which wouldn't kill me. But beyond that, as it turns out, I'm going to want to kill this cannon right off the bat, and I'll explain that, the reason for that afterwards. But when I knock out this cannon with my main attack, I'm going to have at least 1 hog after that cannon dies, and it's gonna walk up to that Tesla potentially, and it's going to set off at least one of these bombs. So even if there is a double bomb there, it's going to get knocked out right off the bat, and it will be neutralized. And again, because I think it would be too easy for him to give me the double bomb like that, it's probably not going to be there. Now, even if it is, and say it ruins my attack on a first run through, the second attacker is going to be able to account for it very well. So it's kind of like a gimmicky trap, in my opinion, to have a double bomb that close to the outer edge, because the closer a trap is to the outer edge, the easier it is to handle, as it's closer to your deployment points, and it's also easier to figure out the timing. So with those arguments in mind, we're going to throw out the right-hand spot. I'm gonna say the bottom spot's not a threat. If there is a double bomb there, I don't care because it will get set off. That leaves only 1 spot as threatening for a double bomb, and that's there. Now, for the Teslas, again, we have a Tesla in the middle here. We're probably going to have either 1 Tesla on the left or the right of this double bomb. Either way, it's not a huge difference, so it's not going to really change my attack. And I'll talk about this double bomb a bit more in a second. As for the remaining Tesla and Giant Bomb, I have 2 open spaces up top. It's probably the case that I have a Tesla there and the last Giant Bomb right above it. It could be down here in the bottom left. It could be over here in the bottom right. Either way, those won't be a big deal because I'll be healing around those areas. And assuming worst case that it's up top is also not a big deal because I'm going to have a heal up here. If this were my base, I would want to put the Tesla there above the Town Hall. Reason being is I would be able to put spring traps on either side, and that would pull hogs through and set them off. And if you take a quick glance around at everything else in the space, there aren't a whole lot of spring trap locations. On the left, you could put one here. On the right, you could put one over here. At the bottom right, maybe there's one there. Other than that, there aren't a lot of other obvious spots for good spring traps. So it's very likely there is a Tesla above this Town Hall, which would give him more spring trap locations to use and make the base more effective. But whether there is a Tesla there and a Giant Bomb right above it, or vice versa, it's not going to make a huge difference. As it turns out, this was the second attack on this base, and we'll end up having a Tesla there of course, there's a Tesla there. Third Tesla will be right next to that wizard tower. The double bomb is a little bit slanted like so, and the giant bomb is going to be up here. So from basic assumptions, we're going to be pretty much dead on with what is going on at the base. And even if, say, that last giant bomb was on the left, or on the right, or in this goofy spot, or on the bottom, it's not going to make a big difference. So I think the best place to put the bombs, given the tower layout, is exactly how they ended up being. Now let's talk about this cannon on the bottom, which I mentioned earlier. Wherever you hog from, and in this case we're going to be hogging around on the right. You want to have your troops that kill the clan castle troops right behind them, because when you hog in front of your wizards, the hogs are going to kill the towers that are going to potentially threaten your wizards, and you want to keep as many wizards as alive as possible so that cleanup goes smoothly. The thing is, though, this cannon on the very bottom is going to destroy our wizards that kill clan castle troops if it's not accounted for. So what VoL is going to do is, instead of just doing a single lure with one hog, he's going to drop in 3 hogs here. Now, unfortunately, that's not going to kill the cannon. It's going to have like almost no health left, so he's going to need to recuperate and drop 2 more hogs, and then those are going to path over like that and get the lure. That's going to pull the clan castle troops down south. He's going to drop some wizards to take them out, and then he's going to go ahead and proceed like his attack like so. I think that's okay, but I don't think it's necessarily the best way to approach it. If you think about his army composition, after using 1 hog for a lure, he's going to have 35 hogs left over. That's going to take up 175 army space. Now, this guy's got 24 towers in his base. If you round it up to 25, we need to do 7 army space per tower to break even. That means we'll have lost all of our hogs by the time he loses all of his towers. That can be a little bit troublesome because we could time out. So if we do better than 7 army space per tower, we're probably going to 3-star this base. Now, with the way that VoL handles this bottom tower, assuming one of the hogs is for the lure, he's going to lose 4 more hogs, which is 20 army space for 1 tower. So it's a bit behind that 7 per tower threshold that we just mentioned. On the other hand, if he doesn't kill that tower and just tries to use 1 hog to lure, this tower is going to knock out every single wizard he uses to kill the clan castle dragon, which would also be a huge waste. So that tower does need to go. And again, like I said, if there are any traps above that cannon, any hogs are used to kill this cannon will run up and knock out those traps, assuming that this archer tower is knocked out so that they can path upwards. I feel that a slightly better way to do it would be as follows. Just as standard, use 1 hog to lure. Pull the wizards down a little bit more to the right, so they'll be a little bit more protected with the main attack. After killing the clan castle troops with your own wizards, what I would like to do is drop my barbarian king right here, as so. And the reason being is he's going to tank for that cannon, this mortar, and this archer tower. Now, why that's nice is it allows me to use my barbarian king effectively and protect my hogs, which lets you put your first heal down a bit later if you want to. The big thing here is, again, we're going to have our hogs coming in on the right, and they're going to start pathing around the base. With that hero tanking this lower cannon, I can drop 2 hogs on that cannon after I drop my hogs in on the right. Now those hogs are going to stay alive and kill that cannon, because the only thing hitting them is this archer tower on the left. Now as long as I've killed this bottom cannon, by the time this right archer tower goes down, these hogs are going to have to path up like that. And that's really great, because if this was a first attack and there were some kind of junk here, those 2 hogs would set those traps off. And again, it does turn out that the double bomb is in this spot here, so we could potentially, with those 2 hogs, just blow up that double bomb right off the bat, and we'd be way ahead in the game. So something to think about, different ways to approach it. That cannon definitely does have to go with where we're going to path in from. You never want to lose your wizards to towers in the base if possible. So I think using your hero more effectively would be a bit better, but the way he does it definitely works. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into the attack and see how this works out. Now, like I said, he's going to drop 3 hogs. It's pretty unfortunate because they come so close to killing this cannon, and he would have had the lure, but he's going to need to drop 2 more now to finish it off. So, with this strategy, 4 hogs would have been the best he could have done, but I think it's still a little bit inefficient. Now you see that hog, if we pause real quick, just veered off towards the right. and went to this archer tower because that archer tower was still up. Now, if we had done the same thing and killed that bottom cannon after this archer tower is knocked out, these hogs would have veered up through this empty space and set off any threatening traps, which would have been really towards our advantage. But he's going to go ahead and bring these down to the bottom and knock them out. Now, this is absolutely wonderful how he takes these out. He's only going to use 3 wizards to kill this dragon, and he's not going to lose a single one of them. By dropping his archers and barbarians sequentially, his 3 wizards will knock out this dragon while the enemy troops are distracted. And this is about as efficient as you could possibly do it. I don't think you can get it any better. And having as many wizards alive as possible by the end of the raid is what separates a timeout from a 3-star. So that's really amazing right there. Now you'll see with this pathing in from the bottom, he's going to set off one of the giant bombs right off the bat. And a little bit unfortunate that 4 hogs veered off to the left, but losing 4 hogs to a double bomb is not the end of the world. He could always do way worse than that. So the way he pathed the space, or that open space, was really great. He just completely avoided the double bomb threat. Here they come up top, coming around. He's got his clan castle hogs coming in on that archer tower, which was left behind, which is a nice use of that. The only thing that's potentially troublesome here is as he finishes on the bottom with this last seal. If you see this gold mine right below the wizard tower that just went down, his hogs are going to end up attacking that gold storage before the enemy barbarian king. And that's kind of a problem, because if your hogs are all in the red and they're hitting a storage while the enemy king is hitting you, you're going to lose all your hogs, and that is going to lead to a timeout as well. And I think the first attack, timed out with only 10 seconds left, and that's pretty unfortunate. So things like that can make a difference. So it's important to think about where your hogs are going to end up, and ideally have a heal right next to that last tower. So that's going to wrap it up. He's got so many wizards left. He actually only lost 2 wizards to those bottom towers. So out of the 8 he took, he has 6 left for cleanup. And even if he had lost all his hogs at this point, when he finished the attack, he still had some 25 seconds left. So with 6 wizards, his barbarian king, and these archers, he would have easily killed this clan castle and town hall that those remaining hogs knocked out. So it's really great to have that security blanket. When you lose all your hogs, you'll still finish the base for a 3-star. So it's a really great attack. I think the way he approached the base was perfect. The efficiency in handling the clan castle troops is great. That needs to be practiced, but once you get it down, you can attack so much more confidently. So overall, just a really great attack, and I liked watching the replay. So alright, so that's going to wrap things up. We had a Town Hall 8 attack here against basically maxed out Town Hall 8 base. This was Chris with The Legacy. Thanks for watching.